Hello, my name is Paul and welcome to my channel, Posture Pilates. So today I'm going to guide you through some exercises on the Pilates Cadillac using the roll down bar. I will offer you 4 beginner, 4 intermediate, followed by 4 advanced. If you enjoyed today's video, then please consider subscribing and hitting the like button. If you wish to be notified of future video releases, then tap the bell icon below. It's free of charge, it doesn't cost you anything, and it helps us to grow the channel and create more content such as this. Also, if you have any exercises that you would like me to demonstrate, then please leave a comment down below. Thank you for watching and enjoy. Let's start with the beginner level. The first exercise is the roll down. Start seated facing the roll down bar. The pelvis and spine are in neutral with the legs straight or slightly bent. The feet are against the uprights. The arms are straight, reaching forward towards the roll down bar with your hands on the outside of the bar. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, segmentally roll halfway down the spine through lumbar flexion. Inhale, continue to roll the upper spine down to the bed, 1 vertebra at a time until laying supine. Stabilizing the scapula, exhale and flex the elbows out to the side, pulling the bar towards the chest. Inhale, control the springs as you extend the elbows. Initiating from the head, roll up the spine, 1 vertebra at a time, making sure you pass through the imprint. Roll onto the pelvis with the weight directly on the sit bones. Inhale, lengthen the spine to return to the starting position. Exhale, half roll down the spine. Inhale, fully roll down the spine, laying supine. Exhale, draw the bar towards the chest. Inhale, extend the elbows. Exhale, roll all the way up through the spine, passing through imprint. Inhale, lengthen the spine to return to sitting position. Attempt to segmentally articulate through each vertebra on both the roll up and roll down. Maintain the lower ribs in contact with the bed whilst flexing and extending the elbows. Stabilize the scapula throughout, avoiding protraction. Transitioning on to roll down with back extension prep. We now exhale as we roll all the way down through the spine until laying supine on the bed. Inhale, flex the elbows out to the side, lifting the sternum towards the ceiling, extending both the thoracic and cervical spine. Exhale, lengthen the spine back to neutral, simultaneously extending the elbows. Initiating from the head, roll the spine off the bed through flexion, rolling through the imprint until the pelvis is vertical with the weight directly over the sit bones. Inhale, lengthen the spine to return back to the start position. Exhale, roll all the way down through the spine until supine onto the bed. Inhale, flex the elbows, extending both the thoracic and cervical spine. Exhale, extend the elbows, and continue to exhale as you roll all the way up through the spine, finishing on top of the sit bones before inhaling, sitting up tall. Posteriorly tilt the pelvis to articulate the spine through imprint. Maintain the crown of the head in contact with the bed as you move into cervical and thoracic extension without any weight through the neck. Exercise 3 is half roll down. Inhale, roll halfway down through the spine through lumbar flexion. Exhale, draw the elbows out to the side, pulling the bar towards the chest. Inhale, extend the elbows, resisting the pull of the springs and maintaining the torso's position. Exhale, flex and pull. Inhale, resist and extend. Perform 3 to 4 repetitions before exhaling, bringing the weight over the sit bones and returning back to seated position. Switch to an underhand grip, with the hands either on the inside or the outside of the springs. Once again, roll halfway down, flexing both the lumbar and thoracic spine. Exhale, draw the elbows downwards, pulling the bar towards the abdomen, specifically the navel. Inhale, extend the elbows, resisting the pull of the springs whilst maintaining the torso position. Exhale, flex and pull. Inhale, resist and extend. Perform 3 to 4 repetitions before exhaling, bringing the weight over the sit bones and returning back to start position. Switching back to the overhand grip. Inhale, roll halfway down. Exhale, draw the bar towards the chest. Inhale, resist and extend. Exhale, pull. Inhale, resist. Perform 3 to 4 repetitions before exhaling, bringing the weight over the sit bone and returning to the start position. And one final time with the underhand grip. As you draw the bar in, avoid lifting the chest and extending the spine. Maintain lumbar and thoracic flexion throughout. For our final exercise, we return to supine on the bed, this time with our head towards the roll down bar. Press yourself away from the uprights and arm's length away with a slight flex in the elbow. Retrieve the bar and hook your legs over the top with the back of the knees resting against the bar. The hands are braced against the uprights, slightly higher than shoulder level with the scapula stabilized. The spine and pelvis are in neutral with the ankles plantar flexed and the toes gently pointed. Maintaining the pelvis in neutral, inhale, flex the hips and bring the legs to tabletop position. Keeping the knees and hips flexed, exhale and segmentally articulate the spine off the bed through flexion, rolling up until resting in the mid or upper thoracic spine, not the cervical. Inhale and segmentally articulate the spine back onto the bed, returning the spine to neutral with the hips and knees flexed in tabletop position. Inhale, extend the hips to reach the toes back towards the bed. Inhale, flex the hips and knees to tabletop. Exhale, articulate the spine away from the bed. Inhale, articulate the spine back onto the bed, return the spine to neutral. Exhale, extend the hips and tap the toes down. Brace the arms against the poles, preventing the body from sliding along the bed. Avoid pulling on the bars to help lift the torso away from the bed. To finish, take hold of the bar and unhook your legs over the top. Moving on to the intermediate level. Our first exercise is neck pull. Exhale and roll the spine down to the bed through flexion, one vertebra at a time. Pass through the imprint until you're laying supine with the pelvis and spine in neutral. Initiating from the head, inhale and begin to roll the spine off the bed through flexion until the scapulas clear the bed. Exhale and continue to roll the spine off the bed through imprint until the weight is directly on the sit bones and the torso is flexed forward, simultaneously flexing the elbows, pulling the bar down. Inhale, lengthen the spine to return to a vertical position. Exhale, flex the spine and roll all the way down to the bed. Inhale, half roll up. Exhale, fully roll up, the weight over the sit bones with the elbows slightly flexed, pressing the bar down. Inhale, sit up tall, releasing the tension. Maintain scapular stabilization throughout. Return the pelvis to a vertical position before lengthening up from the C curve. Avoid collapsing over the legs. Maintain a strong abdominal connection. We now transition to roll down with back extension, forwards and reversed. Exhale, roll down to the bed through flexion, passing through imprint until laying supine. Inhale, flex the elbows, drawing the bar towards the chest, simultaneously extending the spine into extension. Hinge the pelvis towards the legs, lifting the torso away from the bed. Lengthen the spine to a vertical position when the weight comes onto the sit bones. Exhale, flex and roll back. Inhale, extend, hinge and sit up. Exhale, roll down. Inhale, come up. Reverse the action. Inhale, hinge back at the hip, maintaining spinal extension. Lengthen the spine to the bed and exhale, segmentally roll up the spine in flexion, passing through the lumbar imprint. Inhale, hinge back. Exhale, roll up the spine, sitting up tall. Inhale, hinge back. Exhale, roll up. Our third exercise is twist with pulse. Maintaining stabilization of the pelvis, inhale and rotate the spine to one side, keeping the arm in line with the shoulder whilst the other hand remains on the bar. Exhale, lower the gesture arm to the bed. For 3 counts, slide it towards the uprights as the opposing hip comes slightly off the bed to create a diagonal line from opposing foot to hand. Inhale, maintaining rotation and both sides of the waist long, return the torso to vertical so the weight is on both sit bones. Exhale, rotate the torso to the center and change hands holding the bar. Inhale, twist and rotate. Exhale, reach back 1, 2, 3. Inhale, lift. Exhale, return yourself to the center and change hands. Aim to keep both sides of the waist long throughout, avoiding lumbar flexion. To view even more exercises on the Pilates Cadillac, tap the link in the top right-hand corner. And our final exercise at this intermediate level is port de bras. Exhale, roll down to the bed through flexion 1 vertebra at a time, simultaneously keeping the pelvis square. Rotate the upper torso towards the gesture arm, then circle the arm overhead, allowing the upper torso to rotate as your arm crosses the midline. Inhale, initiating from the head, roll up through flexion, passing through imprint, simultaneously circling the gesture arm to the other side, allowing the upper torso to return facing the front as the spine reaches vertical. Switch hands. Exhale, roll down the spine, circling the arm. Passing midline, inhale, roll up the spine, completing the circle. Allow the head and upper torso to follow the hand as the arm circles. If needed, you could slightly flex the elbow, pulling on the bar to control the roll up and roll down sections. And finally, the advanced level. We'll start with the twist around the world. Inhale, rotate the chest to one side, simultaneously drawing the bar towards the chest with the elbows out to the side. Exhale, maintaining both sides of the torso long, lean diagonally back and to one side. Continue to exhale and contract the abdominals to flex the spine, rotating the upper torso to face the front. Inhale, rotate the torso to the opposite side and lengthen both sides of the waist long to lean to the opposite diagonal. Exhale as you sit up tall, returning to vertical, before rotating the torso to face forward and extending the elbows under control. Inhale, rotate the torso and draw the bar towards the chest. Keeping the waist long, exhale and lean diagonally back. Continue to exhale as you roll through spinal flexion. Inhale, lengthen the waist as you rotate to the opposite diagonal. Exhale, sit up tall, return to face forward and extend the elbows. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Maintain the relationship of the arms to the torso, so the elbows dig diagonally out and back. The opposite hip will come slightly off the bed as you lean back on the diagonal. However, as you roll through lumbar flexion, place both sides of the pelvis firmly down into the bed. We now transition to thigh stretch. For this exercise, bring yourself to kneeling. Have the knees hip distance apart and parallel. The arms are straight, reaching forward and holding onto the bar. Maintaining a line from the shoulders to the knees, inhale and hinge back at the knee joint, allowing the thighs to lengthen. Keep the eye line facing forward with a slight flex at the cervical spine. Exhale, press the bar down, increasing the resistance of the spring, and hinge the torso back to vertical. Inhale, hinge back. Exhale, press the bar down and return yourself to vertical. Maintain a strong glute support throughout to avoid flexing at the hip joint. Let's progress this and add an extension. Inhale, hinge back at the knee joint. Exhale, flex the elbows to facilitate stabilizing the scapula. Extend through the spine and hips to form an arc from the knees to the head. Inhale, lengthen the arms and bring the spine, pelvis and hips to neutral, creating one long line from the knees to the head. Exhale, press the bar down and hinge the torso back to vertical. Inhale, hinge back. Exhale, extend. Inhale, return to neutral. Exhale, press the bar down and return to vertical. Support sufficiently with the abdominals to avoid overextending through the lumbar spine. Our third exercise is the full semicircle, or aeroplane. Bring yourself to supine on the bed, with your head at the roll-down bar and an arm's length away from the uprights. Hook your legs over the bar with it resting behind the knee joint. The ankles are plantar flexed with the toes gently pointed. The hands are holding the uprights slightly higher than shoulder level. Inhale, flex the hips, floating the legs to tabletop with the spine staying in neutral. Exhale, articulate the spine off the bed, passing through imprint, until resting either at the mid or upper thoracic spine. Inhale, extend the hips to reach the knees towards the ceiling, aiming to create a bridge shape. Maintaining the bridge shape, exhale and lower the whole torso down until the toes touch the bed. Continuing to exhale, articulate the spine back to the bed, rolling through the imprint, finishing in neutral. Inhale, float the legs to tabletop. Exhale, roll up the spine. Inhale, extend the hips. Exhale, float the torso down before rolling down through the spine and finishing back in neutral. Avoid gripping the uprights. Keep the fingers extended. Do not use the arms to pull the torso off the bed. Let's reverse the movement pattern, however the breathing remains the same. Inhale, keeping the toes on the bed, articulate the spine up into the bridge. Exhale, float the bridge shape up, reaching the knees towards the ceiling. Inhale, flex the hip and knee joint, aiming to keep the pelvis still in space. Exhale, articulate the spine back down to the bed, passing through imprint, before tapping the toes down. Inhale, articulate the spine off the bed. Exhale, float the torso upwards in a bridge shape. Inhale, flex at the hip and knee joint. Exhale, articulate the spine back down to the bed before tapping the toes down. Here, I have chosen to perform the exercise in a 4-breath pattern. It could be performed in a 2-breath pattern. Inhale through the first half of the exercise, exhale through the second half of the exercise. To dismount safely, take hold of the roll-down bar before unhooking your legs from the top. For our final exercise, we will come to lay side on to the bed with your feet towards the uprights. This exercise is called the side bend. Some teachers may class this as intermediate. However, for both myself and my clients, We class this as advanced. The choice is yours. The legs are straight, with the ball of the top foot braced against the back upright at hip height, and the ball of the bottom foot is braced against the front upright. The bottom arm is straight with the palm up, and the top arm is straight, holding the center of the roll down bar. Stabilizing the pelvis and spine in neutral, inhale and start to laterally flex the spine away from the bed, bringing the bottom arm off with the torso. Exhale, flex the top arm and pull the elbow into the side, whilst laterally flexing the spine further, simultaneously dorsiflexing the top ankle, allowing the top side of the hip to open slightly. Inhale, plantar flex the top ankle, extend the top elbow whilst lengthening the torso to begin returning to the bed. Exhale, lower yourself back down to the start position. Inhale, laterally flex away from the bed. Exhale, pull on the bar, deepen the flexion and slightly open the top hip. Inhale, extend the elbow and lower yourself down halfway. Exhale, lower yourself all the way down to the bed. Emphasize the feeling of lengthening before the lateral flexion. Perform 4 to 5 repetitions before transitioning to the other side. Inhale, lengthen and lift. Exhale, bend the elbow and deepen the flexion. Inhale, extend the elbow and lengthen away. Exhale, lower to the bed. As you deepen the flexion, dorsiflex the top ankle to facilitate the top hip opening just slightly. If you enjoyed today's video, then please consider liking, sharing, and following.